Investors and traders, welcome to the channel. Market chart pattern to this 1st of June 2025. Hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend. We'll take a look at the key technology stocks and some of the ETFs in this video. As always, the video is for educational purposes only. It is not a financial advice. So I'll try to be a little bit quick and try to make a shorter video. So we'll cover quite a lot of things. So let's start by taking a look at the XLK, which is the Spider Select Sector Fund for Technology. It's very similar to the QQQ. Normally we also have the other video segment in which we take a look at the markets in general, and where we follow the nasdaq 100 cash and DX index, and also the NQs, which are the futures for S&P 500, nasdaq 100 futures. So here just want to point out, we had a really, when in April we had this big drop. 7th of April low is a really key low. We had some expansions which were coming together here, and then I've not drawn a retracement. We can go and draw a retracement, let's say by taking a look at the key low around here, and there we go. And let's see, I believe to be about 50%. Yep, so between 50% is where it was. Here we go. So we had a confluence of number of ratios coming together. This was about 78.6% retracement. I haven't drawn that, so pretty strong support level which has held thus far, and the market has rallied a lot. It's above the 78.6% retracement. So it shows a lot of strength has come into the market. Therefore, I'm looking at the 7th of April low as a very important low, and in my opinion, it most likely is the low for 2025. So now let's take a look at some of the key individual stocks. So let's start by taking a look at Meta, because it's also a start of a new month and end of May. So we got a chance to look at some of the really long-term charts. So let's take a look at the monthly chart. For the new subscribers, we have this ABCD long-term pattern completing around $690 per share level, and this is what we are really watching very carefully. In January of this year, we were actually able to hit this level, and in fact the market went above to about 740. So it overshot by about $50, and then we have had a nice pullback right in the 38.2% retracement around the $490 per share level, and the market has actually moved nicely higher, and the month of May has been a positive month. So the chances are, as long as this point low of 7th of April is held, we are actually in an ABCD move 1-to-1 price projection higher. So shorter term, we could be looking at about $800, $900, and the ABCD actually points to about $1,100 per share level. So that's a really strong stock for Meta. Of course, they are doing a lot with the artificial intelligence. They have a lot of data, and they have not even gone into the physical side of artificial intelligence. If they do decide to at some point diversify, kind of things which Elon Musk is doing with his several companies, they do have the resources to kind of go in that direction. I'm not saying that they will, because I think at the moment they are spending a huge amount of money on the capex on building out the data centers for the artificial intelligence is quite a lot. So they're spending a lot of money. But they remain a really forefront player in artificial intelligence side of things, and this is why we have seen the stock recover after hitting 78.6% retracement. This is when Mark Zuckerberg actually changed his the name to Meta, and he was really focusing on metaverse, and investors weren't really sure how much he'll be spending and how he'll be able to monetize that, and he pivoted into artificial intelligence, and boom, we saw recovery to new all-time highs. So here again, similar to the monthly targets, this is what we're looking at. 7th of April low is a key low. Let's move down to the daily chart, and here we can see that the 7th of low also came in with a nice 1-to-1 price projection around the ABCD. Didn't hit the exact levels, but made a double bottom formation right at the 78.6% retracement, and now it's hovering around the 78.6% and 61.8% retracement. The chances are slightly to hit the 680, 675, 680 bucks level. This is where perhaps it could go into more of a sideways to down price action. But the stock, in my opinion, looks pretty strong. Now, the other one we want to look at is Tesla. So I will go back to the monthly charts. Here we go. So Tesla is a pretty volatile stock. It's also a personality stock, in my opinion, because of stock being really tied to the Elon Musk and his personality of saying things out, for example. Just my opinion, of course, but what we have seen is basically 2 consecutive months when the stock has posted a positive return. So look at the month of May, it's up 22.79%. In the month of May, and in April it was 8.87, and this is where we also saw a double bottom come in right here as well. So we believe that the 7th of April low is a really key low. As long as that is held, we are most likely in a ABCD structure 1-to-1 price projection higher, and likely to actually see the $500 level exceed, and the stock could perhaps move towards 600 to a little bit higher as well, $611 per share level on the weekly chart. And also, of course, if you draw these you just join the bottoms right here. There's a nice trend line right here, but the stock, let me actually show that to you on the weekly chart. It's a pretty high beta stock because it just moves around a lot. 50% retracement, these are quite common. It has huge rallies, and then it could give up at this stage. 76% of retracement. That's a big retracement. 54%, 55% retracement right here, and after making new all-time highs and hitting our target, the stock was down again 56%. Now on the daily chart, here we go. We had really key patterns that were completing right here, so we were really watching and getting we were looking for the stock from a bullish perspective, and then this drop happened, which actually caught me by a little bit of surprise, but then there was this big huge gap as well, so the market actually filled that as well, and now we have seen a rally. It's kind of between the 50% and 61.8% retracement. Not a really good looking candle last Friday. I think it can come down a little bit lower to touch the 20-day moving average again, but monthly and weekly charts, they're pretty strong looking charts. Now let's take a look at Apple, and here we go. So the Apple has been under a great deal of pressure, but the good thing is, look, it had a really nice 1-to-1 price projection ABCD right here, around the $171 per share level, and that has kind of held, but again the stock has just gone nowhere, because it's one of the stocks really tied to its supply chain with China, and with this whole tariff situation, it's under pressure, because you can see that this is double top. We have this as our target, this zone and this zone as resistance, and the market seems to have respected this one, and now at the bottom of the range. So it's range bound in my opinion, but still holding this key level, which came in around the 8th of April for the Apple stock. So the chances are, if as long as it remains this low is held, we could see maybe a recovery towards $226 per share level, maybe a little bit higher as well. But the chances are it's likely to remain more of a range bound affair till Tim Cook, who is a really clever CEO, he knows his supply chains as the back of his hand. I'm sure they will be able to work something through, and certainly with their balance sheet being so strong and the amount of cash they hold, they are able to do quite a lot of things, but they just need to be on the the right side of things with regards to the current situation. So that's what I think. But from a technical perspective, you can see that this trend line was broken, but the market actually recouped that, so that was good. And now it's just really sideways price action. Let's see how the stock did on a monthly basis, and you can see that on the monthly basis really big there. It looked like there were buyers sitting around here, and they just bought the stock long-term trend line as well. But it's also one of these magnificent 7 stocks which for the 3rd consecutive month has closed lower for the month. It's an inside formation right here, so as long as this is held, this has still got a chance Apple. Getting below this, key structures being broken, then we begin to look at possible formation of head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder formation, and of course the neckline will be right here. But thus far we have to give it the benefit of the doubt because I don't see left translation. I see right translation because you can see it has had these pullbacks and then these highs are taken out, then a pullback, and then a right translation again. So that's the way that we look at the cycles. Yeah, it seems like a more like a pullback. Have to see a left translation in which there's a rally and then the market comes down, takes these lows out, then that just changes the whole structure. Now let's take a look at the stock of let's do NVIDIA actually. Here we go. So this is the monthly chart of NVIDIA, and we can see that, wow, a really strong looking close for the month. And if we just do a retracement right here, so the stock had retraced pretty much about 50% from the lows which came in October of 2022. Strong looking close. I don't really like the quite a elongated top of the wick there. That thing I do not like, but other than that, it was good to see the stock closing in the positive territory. And then here we go. This is what we were discussing on the weekly chart. There's a chance that if it gets above these highs, we are looking at 171. And on the daily chart, here we go. Here we go. So last couple of days, the stock has been up 3.25%, then minus 2.92%. A fair amount of volatility. It does look like what these are. There are nice gaps up. Some of the investors might be selling into this strength and taking some chips off the table, because it's also one of those stocks which has got a supply chain linked to Taiwan, and then of course there are some things related to the tariffs going on as well. So maybe that might have something to do with it, but it's still got a chance to 171 perhaps. Now let's take a look at the AMD, which is also in the chips sector, and a subscriber had actually asked me to take a look at this. That was a few months ago, so this is when we began to actually follow this stock, and here it's good to see on the monthly the stock has closed the month of May up 13.74%. That's a pretty good change, because if you look at this leg right here, you can see that just been going down and down and down. So we were also coming close into our key patterns that we were watching. So this is the weekly chart, and we had this really key support right here. Now the market has just gone into the trading range, and the key thing for us is if it's able to get above this market symmetry, that would be really good for the stock, and then the chances increase that we might have seen a pretty nice low, and then of course any retracement, the kind of stuff that we saw here and here or here and here would be pretty good for someone looking to perhaps an entry. And then here we go. This is on the daily chart. We can see that it hit these levels. One of the things I'm also watching is that this is the actual market symmetry which exists. So here we go, this, and then this was an ABCD. So it's above that, which is good, but if it's able to get above 130, that would be really, really good. Now let's take a look at the stock of Amazon. Let's take a look at the monthly chart first. Here we go. So on the monthly chart, we can see Amazon also posted a positive month, 11.16% up for the month of May. And then if we take a look at this on the weekly chart, we can see that it's It's found pretty good support here, and then it's just recovered there. So but still it's just going sideways because on the retail side of things is still quite heavily tied to supply chains in China. And here we can see that the stock has just gone sideways. Look at these gap ups right here. So it does look like it's more of a trading range of here, finding resistance from the 61.8% retracement. Maybe it's able to do an ABCD to the downside right here, and then we begin to see rethrust up, or it could just remain range bound and move a little bit lower. So I think need more clarity for the price action in this stock. And now let's take a look at Z scalar. Oh wow, so this is we were the other day we were looking for Z scalar. Look, there we go. So it's been following that pattern formation. So again, really strong contender. Broke above this, so I think we are now looking at an ABCD to the upside, like this right here, and possibly new highs in Z-scalar. And if we let me just go back to the weekly chart. So this is how we had been actually watching this one as an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and by taking this point out, shorter term 285, and then this ultimate 320 is where we have our ABCD completing as our target, and then also a new highs as well. So Z-scalar, I think earnings came out last week, last Thursday. And last week, so you really market is acting positively, so that's great. There we go. So I think this is when the earnings came out. Now let's see what's going to be the follow through, because sometimes the market profit taking happens, just moves lower. 288 is what we are looking at for short term target, then 325. But Z scalar looking good here. Last but not least is gonna be the RBLX, and RBLX, you can see that is doing pretty good as well. Here we go. This is the monthly chart. Ended the month of May really strong, and on the weekly chart it's just been following our pattern really well. Very strong close. I think it's gonna go and complete about $100, $15 away from that. So this is what we are watching in the key technology stocks that we like to follow here. Thank you very much for watching the video. Also, I've started a Substack where I'm actually posting regularly, because I'm not always able to do a video. The link is in the description. Please do subscribe. It's free, and you will actually get quite a lot of updates which I'm not able to cover here in the videos, so I'll appreciate that. And if you also want to donate something to the channel, then the donation link is also in the description. So thank you very much. Good luck, good trading, and speak to you guys soon.